ready to take your investment game to the next level? Introducing Digital Investor, your ultimate guide to mastering the digital marketplace. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Digital Investor brings you cutting-edge game theoretical strategies, expert insights, and real-time tips and tactics to analyze, evaluate, invest, and grow your wealth. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Visit www.nickblacknext.com and start your journey with Digital Investor today.
All right. Hello. See, this one is, I think it's just straight vanilla. Yeah. Straight old, boring, run-of-the-mill, cookie cutter. Wait. Hold on. Yeah. Well, it's good anyway. Even if it is basic. I'm basic, bro. Basic as hell. I don't get a problem with it. I'm good with it. I'm good with basic. Okay, so what's going on? So this is our office hours where we just kind of open up the floor for questions. Write the word question or put a little Q, and then I will try to get to it. Okay. We are going to also talk about some things in the economy. Retail sales. Not good. Retail sales shit the bed. So we'll talk about that. Of course, this is not what you're going to hear from Jerome because he doesn't look at data like sales, layoffs, jobless claims, unemployment, employment, producer, manufacturer indexes, CPI, GDP. He doesn't look at the beige book. He doesn't count sentiment surveys. He doesn't count establishment surveys. He doesn't look at the 210 forward. I wonder what they look at over at the Fed. Because those are all things in the past that they would have looked at for data. They don't look at those things anymore because those things give them the wrong information. And then Jerome can't stand up in front of cameras and say, oh, we just don't see any of this in the data. Like, what data are you guys looking at? Like, bro, every single metric by which you would measure an economy has shat the bed. It shat the whole mattress factory. Imagine that. You work at a mattress factory and you walk in and you're like, oh, come on. Every one of them? And then you would be like, was Jerome Powell here last night? Anyway, yeah, man. That's where we be. Okay. Let me see what's going on over here. Let's go. It's kind of a fun one. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into retail. Oh, by the way, hello. Let's see. Do you F with silver? No. Nope. Silver's dead money. So there's just two. There's a lot of silver, man. There's also a lot of gold. Gold is not scarce like people like to claim it is. Gold is just not scarce. So when you hear people being like, oh yeah, we should buy gold. Let's buy gold. Why? so you can make 1% a decade. Like, come on, man. God damn. It's just, gold is not that rare, as it turns out. What constrains the gold market is gold miners and producers that sit on mines and just decide that, kind of like the oil cartels, they don't want to pump when prices are low. But guess what? When people stop buying oil at a certain point, you just pump. Because you're like, well, look, I can't drive these 1,700 Ferraris if someone's not paying an exorbitant amount for it. So, yeah. A whole class of uber wealthy that have done nothing to deserve it. Isn't that crazy? Nothing. They're just born into it. It's beneath their feet. How did you get super rich? Oh, we're super rich. I know, but what did you do? Like, how did you contribute? No, we're super rich because we live here. We're super rich. Right. What thing did you do, you or anybody you know or anybody with your fucking DNA, what did you do to make the world any different? Oh, we just happened to be here. We just happened to be here in this shitty fucking wasteland of a desert, but there's this material underneath it that everybody, they love it. So we're rich. Oh, all right. Well, sweet. Well played then. There's no fairness in the universe, people. There's no principle of fairness. If you're looking for one, you're going to be unhappy. Let's see. Other than BJJ fighters, who were your toughest opponents? Muay Thai, Greco-Roman, wrestlers. Wrestlers are always the toughest to fight. And my background is jiu-jitsu and wrestling and Thai boxing and then eventually boxing. And wrestlers are hands down, not even close. No one even gets anywhere near how painful it is to fight a good wrestler. That's it. Yep, that's it. Let's see. All right. What else? Okay. Question. Yesterday we asked about agent to agent compared to hypercycle. Yeah, and we answered it. It's comparing apples to pomegranates. I mean, they each offer their own thing. There's going to be lots of these agent, node, propositions, participate in AI. Like, I don't think that's a super novel concept. But they don't have TOTA IP. They don't have the architecture. And it's not like you can just slap it together. It's not so easy. Because no one else has done it. So sitting on TOTA IP, I think that's one of the big benefits that Hypercycle has. It still doesn't mean that they're going to connect all the dots and have a compelling product and that the world's going to use Hypercycle. World didn't use Beta. Beta was way better than VCR tapes. Betamax. This is a little bit before my time. I heard some stories. It didn't matter. Laser discs are better than discs. CDs. Didn't matter. You got to get the world to onboard to it. Anyway. So, yeah. So, I mean, I guess just, what do you think? Like, what do you think, 11? Do you like it? Go invest in it. You guys you have free will. All of you have free will. CPI, no, they weren't. If you take out owner's equivalent rents, they were way down. Joseph, what data are you looking at, buddy? You got to take out the weirdness of owner's equivalent rents, buddy. And then they were way down. and way down from a Jerome Powell that said, here comes the inflation. These guys are stuck on this narrative that tariffs equal inflation. Tariffs don't equal inflation. Tariffs equal demand destruction. You guys get that, right? Like, think about it. Just reduce it in your mind to the absurdly simple. The same things that you would normally go and purchase are now more expensive. Do you just keep buying them if you don't have a job or if you're working less hours? And like, Do you just keep buying that stuff, or do you start cutting back? The cure to high prices is high prices. It isn't perpetuated prices. That's not even common sense. No, CPI and PPI. Well, I don't know what you mean by we're in line. In line with what? They certainly weren't in line with Trump's inflation, not Trump's inflation, Jerome Powell's inflation narrative, the Fed's inability to understand what is inflation. No, they are not. Let's see. Gold miners, silver miners versus the rock, perhaps. You mean the big rock floating in space? Well, you can't, Trump can't directly fire Powell. It's weird because he appointed him, but you can't fire him. Jerome Powell should have when this is how you know Jerome Powell's an arrogant piece of shit who thinks about himself. He doesn't care about he certainly doesn't care about the welfare of the country, because he's already shown that it's really just a tit for tat with Trump. He does not care at all, because these guys are rich. They're independently rich. So they may pay you, pay some lip service. Oh, we know it's tough out there for people, but yet he's not willing to make a change. Again, a change that we know doesn't make a difference, but at least it would signal to the world that he gives a shit. He won't even signal that he gives a shit, because we can't cut rates. Trump said cut rates. We are the ones who determine when we do and don't cut rates. Well, you're about a year behind this time last year, Jerome. So are you going to be a year behind again? Like, these guys are such idiots. And their ideas about inflation do not make sense. They don't hold water. And you think, well, certainly they would figure it out. Like, how hard can it be? Apparently really fucking hard. Apparently impossibly hard, because the things they say are stupid. So they're either corrupt or they're stupid. Either way, it's a kind of incompetence, right? If they're steering the ship through corruption, that's an incompetence. You can't stay afloat. And if they're just stupid and incompetent, right? Never ascribe malice where stupidity is a more likely answer, right? More likely it's stupidity and a little bit of hubris, a little bit of pride, a little self-importance. But they do not understand how inflation works. Tariffs. If an oil sheik raises the price of oil, says we're not pumping any more oil, we're going to sell it $100 a barrel. In the chat, please answer. Did inflation just kick in? Is that inflation? Anyone? Anyone? Let's see. The problem with tariffs is that people believe Trump when he said the seller would pay the tariffs, so the prices would stay the same. No. 11. I think it's foolish to think anyone believed that. Now, to an extent, producers and exporters, they do what they can to maintain stable deal flow, right? Like they're like, well, if we can cut, we don't want to kill all of our buyers, so maybe we can shore it up a little bit over here or whatever. But I don't think no one, not one fucking person on the planet Earth thought prices would not change at all, right? Unless you're the one person, in which case we may need to have an intervention. Come on, common sense. Don't stand on the words and ignore the message. Yeah. So no one thought that, unless it's you. Maybe it's you. Maybe you thought that. If you thought that, I'm going to give you a little virtual hug. I'm going to tell you to sit down, and I'm going to tell you to be quiet while the adults talk. All right. What happens to ETFs when they run out of Bitcoin and there's no more to buy? Well, there's always more to buy. Remember, run out of Bitcoin. I mean, okay, so let's unpack that. There's not a scenario where they run out of Bitcoin. Think about it. let's say we get to less than 1 million Bitcoin on exchanges. Could happen pretty soon. We're already at like what, a little over 2 million. So there's no more Bitcoin on exchange. Let's say we're at a million Bitcoin total. Okay, what that's going to do is, if demand is the same, if everything stays the same, but the supply shrinks, what does that create? The price goes up, right? Why does the price go up? Well, because demand is consistent and supply has shrunk. So small e economics. So if you have consistent demand and a shrinking supply, then it's going to be now more demand per supply unit, right? Less widgets, but we want our 100 widgets, but there's only 10 widgets. We're fighting for the widgets. So there's more dollars chasing fewer goods it's similar, but the demand level is the same, right? So that constant, the cash chasing the items. So what do you think happens when the price starts going up because of these things? Because of these kind of small e economic effects? Then more sellers who were like, I'm not selling. And they're like, I can pay off my house. I can pay off that Ferrari. I can pay off that Rolls. I could buy 2 more cats. I could have a different pair of silk slippers every day of the week. I could do all these. You know what? I'm going to sell some Bitcoin. I wasn't going to, but now I am, just a little bit. What happens is, as prices go up, it unearths new sellers. People that wouldn't previously sell at previous prices would sell at higher prices. Is there anybody right now? Be honest. Would you sell, anybody here, all of your Bitcoin this second for $1 million a token? $1 million a token. Anyone? Let me ask it better. Is there anyone who would not? Make sure we got this right. Is there anyone who would not sell all of their Bitcoin for $1 million a token? Let me know if you would not. Of course you would. We all would. Every fucking token as quick as possible. We all would. Why? Because that price in our minds is higher than the value of keeping the asset at this time, at this moment. And that's what happens when prices spike. You unearth new sellers. So I guess the easy way to kind of think of all that is there's never going to be a point where there's no Bitcoin, because somebody somewhere will sell it. Now, there could be a point where there's a lot less Bitcoin on exchanges, and when ETF buying happens, it forces so much purchasing that no longer can they get all these tokens from OTC exchanges. OTC, I don't mean exchanges like OTC. I mean exchange, OTC transactions, which happens at exchanges. But these OTC transactions will run aground, and then they will have to go into the open market and purchase. And when they go in the open market and purchase, that's going to bid up the price. And when you bid up the price, that's going to unearth new sellers. So there will always be somebody willing to sell for some price. So it's not going to be a problem. But is that going to hoover up? Is the shrinking supply on exchanges likely to correlate with price increases in the underlying asset? Yes, absolutely. For sure, it is likely. 100% of the time, it's right. 60% of the time. So yes, again, because of that demand pull, right? That demand pull. All right. Yeah. So there's that. Hooday, what's the word? They'll try to keep prices as low as they can for access, but you're missing the point of tariffs is to reduce income tax burden and drive U.S. dollar to U.S. businesses. I think that's part of it. I also think part of this tariff is this is kind of a big reset from the kind of scummy deals that we've had, because we've had a series of politicians for the last half century that have slowly but surely bent over, and for us, the U.S., basically taking it right up the keister. For the sake of dollar hegemony and, global expansion. And also, like, at a certain point, man, God, stop. Like we have to hit the reset button a little bit. So I think this is a little bit of reset button, a little renegotiating. Trump's built a whole career off negotiating. So there are things I do and don't like about Trump. But one of the things I do like about him is the dude knows how to negotiate. He will go into a meeting and he will leave pretty much with what he wants. Or there'll be another meeting. There was a guy that used to work for Trump that was talking about, they had a meeting with these guys in it was a group of Taliban and Al Qaeda and all this kind of stuff. And this is when Trump said, and this is like Trump was at the meeting with these people, and he said, we're going to have a withdrawal from Afghanistan, but it's going to be bloodless. He said, because if one American gets killed, and then Trump basically was talking to the head of this group. He said, I'm going to kill you and your family. And then he brought out satellite photos of the guy's house. And he walked out of the room. And guess what? There were no American deaths. I mean, other than maybe some accidental. There were no, like war-based deaths as the Americans pulled out of Afghanistan. Why do you think that is? Dude knows how to negotiate, man. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying whatever. I'm just saying, dude knows how to negotiate. So, give him a little bit of credit for having to go through all the shit he went through, and the law and the legal cases and all this kind of stuff. Did you see Hillary Clinton being carted off to like almost going to jail and all this kind of stuff for all the super illegal shit she got away with? No. What about Bill Clinton? It's water on a duck's back. Man, Trump's been through it. That dude stepped up. So again, you don't have to agree with his politics. You don't have to like it, but there are things to like. There's a lot of things to like about Obama too. I liked Obama a lot. Obama was, if you were a bad guy, he was a monster. Do you know that guy? He deported more people than any other president in history. Your buddy Obama, old woke ass left. We love him. Yeah, you love immigrants. Obama don't love immigrants. Obama do not love immigrants. Obama will deport your ass. He did. Millions. So people, again, this is part of our understanding of cognitive bias is, like choosing which information you want to ignore. So, when you live kind of in an echo chamber or kind of confirmation bias, you just start winnowing down the information, which we can't do. We're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to take it all in. Okay. Let me keep going. Let's see. Look at all the cool. Don't we talk about fun stuff when we do these? Like, we always talk about fun stuff. We go on such weird pivots. Yeah, Americans consume, God. Too much. Listen, there's some listen, America's got its problems, right? This is the home of the credit card millionaire, where everybody lives outside their means. I mean, there's a lot of problems here. There's a lot of really poor fiscal decision making, and keeping up with the Joneses and all this. Yes, I get it. Yeah. Okay, let's talk real quick. Since we're on the subject of consumers, Green, good one. Good little segue that you forced. Let's talk about retail sales. Okay. Retail sales fell almost a full percent in May. So 0.9%, 90 basis points. It's a lot. Worse than expected as consumers pulled back. Wait a minute. I thought there was going to be widespread inflation. All this tariff-led inflation. Where's the, wait. Jerome, you said it. Here it comes. We're worried about inflation. Never mind the facts and the math. Inflation. Never mind the people getting fired and laid off and job and hours shrinking, or the people that no longer get paid unemployment benefits, so they don't even count as being unemployed. They're just unemployable. Disenfranchised mass of people that can't get a fucking job. They're not unemployed. Not on my book. Oh, so they have a job? No, they certainly don't. They're going to get hooked on Ozempic and meth. Great. And then you'll blame them when the markets don't do what you think they should do. So, retail sales dropped. It was predicted that there was going to be a 0.6 of a point drop, but no, it was 50%. It beat the street by 50% in the bad way. Excluding a series of items such as auto dealers, building material, gas stations, and others. So if you take out cars, building materials, gas stations, and a whole bunch of other shit, sales increased by 0.4%. I guess if you take enough stuff out, there is something left that showed an increase. Probably bullets and alcohol and porn. The pullback in retail sales came despite surveys showing that consumer sentiment actually increased in May. Right. Ask the people that got laid off how good they're feeling about the economy, how much they like their chances. Consumer spending pulled back sharply in May, weighed down by declining gas sales. Wait a minute. I thought the price of gas going up. Inflation. Nope. Looming unease over where the economy is headed. The Commerce Department reported on Tuesday. Of course, none of this will count as far as Jerome Powell's concerned because this is, well, we don't take into account anything the Commerce Department says. Okay, cool. Retail sales declined 0.9 of a point, even more than the 0.6 drop that was expected from Dow Jones consensus, according to numbers adjusted for seasonality but not inflation. The decline followed a 0.1% loss in April and came at a time of unease over tariffs and geopolitical tensions. Sales rose 3.3% from a year ago. Excluding autos, sales fell 0.3%, also worse than the estimate for a gain of 0.1. Yeah, that's almost a half point. That's almost a half percentage. Whoopsie. Why? Because apparently a lot of people do bad math. Economists, man, what a bunch of useless tools. With a bunch of useless tools at their disposal. Behind the wall. Excluding a series of items such as auto dealers, building material suppliers, gas stations, and other sales increased 0.4%. That reading, known as the control group, is what the department uses when calculating gross domestic product, GDP. Sales have been generally slow through the year, though spending peaked in March as consumers sought to get ahead of the Liberation Day tariff announcement. Building materials and garden stores saw sales fall 2.7%, while sliding energy prices pushed gasoline station receipts down 2%. Motor vehicles and parts retailers were down 3.5%, while bars and restaurants, the last bastion of the disenfranchised, the place where people go when shit is bad, they declined almost a full point. On the plus side, let's not all be negative. There's some pluses. Miscellaneous retailers, sex toys, I guess, and doggy toys. Oh, well, they're the same. Anyway, miscellaneous retailers gained 2.9%. Online sales rose 0.9%. Furniture store sales increased. Furniture store sales by 1.2%. I guess, listen, if I'm going to be unemployed, I'm going to be unemployed on a comfortable ass couch, baby. You know what I'm saying? This unemployed ass is going to be sitting here not looking for jobs in comfort. Stock market futures held negative after the release, while treasury yields also fell slightly. This is part of the kind of, I think the bull steepening is where we're at. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Americans bought cars in March ahead of tariffs and stayed away from dealerships in May. Well, if you think about it, that makes sense. If you bought a car in March, you're probably not gonna buy a car in May, are you? Or for any time near. So yeah, a lot of the buying was front loaded. Families are wary of higher prices and being a lot more selective with where they spend their money. Oh, chief economist at Navy Federal Credit Union. People are hunting for deals and aren't eager to buy unless they see a good one. I think that's mostly all the time. I like how apparently if you're an economist, people are stupid and lazy unless there's a panic. That's the only time they're not stupid and lazy. Anybody here do you guys just go look for the most expensive thing? Or do you guys look for a deal? Whether the economy is good or bad, everybody looks for a deal. No one says, I'm here to get screwed. Who's going to screw me? Like, come on, man. I mean, they probably say that, but not at a store. That's how you lead into a Diddy class orgy, you know? But yeah, we all look for deals. We want a deal. I think we've always wanted that. This economists make a lot of assumptions that are just, the logic is so flawed, and that's how you know they've never done anything in society. They've never actually done anything. These economists are they're just armchair hacks. Sucks. There's a whole education system around armchair hacks. The pullback in retail sales came despite surveys showing that consumer sentiment actually improved in May. Well, people are happier. Okay, all right. Though compared with levels that had been falling mostly throughout the year. Yeah. Well, I mean, this isn't a tariff month, or last month wasn't a tariff month, so probably people are like, well, at least it wasn't April. But here we are. I mean, we have a trade war and a Iran-Israel war, and people are clutching their pearls again. The ongoing trade war ignited by President Trump's tariffs had dented consumer and business optimism, though an easing in some of the rhetoric amid a 90-day negotiating period has led to better readings. GDP declined. Again, a number that Jerome Powell will just quietly not quote. GDP declined at 0.2% annualized pace in the first quarter, but is projected to rebound at some point. Oh, sweet. Well, as long as we have definitives like that. Second quarter growth heading into retail sales release was pegged at 3.8%, according to Atlanta Federal Reserve GDP Now tracker on rolling data. The gauge will be updated later Tuesday. In other economic news, important. I guess they're all important. Import prices were flat against a forecast of 0.1% decline, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Oh, BLS. Export prices fell 0.9%. Okay. Well, there we are. Retail sales kicked right square in the dick. Let's see. The cost to sweep S&P E-mini is $75 million right now. No liquidity. Yeah. But remember, buyers beget sellers. Okay. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about Ethereum a little bit. So I found an interesting article. We got to do a little background music change. Let's go to Miami. Something a little bit more, a little groove here. Over 91 billion at staked Ethereum makes Ethereum nearly impossible to attack. So nearly 1/3 of Ethereum's supply is staked. That's a lot. Over 35 million Ethereum are now locked across various platforms, according to Dune Analytics. This accounts for nearly 1/3 of the crypto's total supply and reflects a growing presence among holders to earn passive rewards by securing the network. That's a lot of people staking. Lido is the largest staking provider, Lido, L-I-D-O, holding 8.94 million, roughly 25.6% of the total market share. The liquid staking platform is followed by Binance and Coinbase, which are the centralized exchanges. So the list of stakers, matter of fact, this is a cool list. I will show you this list. Here, please look at my list. Make it bigger for you. Bam! Kind of bigger. Anyway, so that's where we are. Lido, Binance, Coinbase, Ether.fi, and Kiln. And that's the Ethereum staked. 8.9 million at Lido, basically 9 million at Lido, 2.65 million at Binance, 2.605 million at Coinbase, Ether.fi, 2.3 million, Kiln, 1.5 million. So, bam. According to the data, Binance and Coinbase control 2.65 million, 2.59 million ETH respectively. The two exchanges account for over 15% of the total staked amount. Market observers have linked the increase in staked Ethereum to a recent regulatory update from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which clarifies that different staking mechanisms are not subject to existing security laws. Correct. This clarification removed a significant source of legal uncertainty, making it easier for individuals and institutions to participate without the fear of regulatory backlash. I also think staking is coming to ETFs and in-kind redemptions. So that's going to be pretty interesting too. So fingers crossed that we get that. That would be pretty cool. Okay. So you say, okay, well, why does a bunch of staking make Ethereum stronger or more expensive to attack? So beyond yield generation, staking is critical in the Ethereum security model. As more Ethereum is staked, the cost of compromising the network goes up. It becomes more expensive to attack. Dune Analytics showed that Ethereum's economic security, which is the total value of staked Ethereum, now exceeds 91 billion. So for an attacker to carry out a 51% attack, meaning you pervert 51% or more of the existing nodes and you force a chain split and you basically rewrite history. You just decide your chain is the most important chain, right? For an attacker to carry out that 51% attack, they must control most of the Ethereum that's staked, meaning they would have to have 46 billion in Ethereum at the current price of over 26, or right around 2,600, making such an attempt economically not only unfeasible, but just irrational, right? So the growing volume of staked Ethereum not only signals users are confident, but also strengthens the resilience of Ethereum's proof of stake. This makes it more expensive to attack. And I think that's cool because I like Ethereum and I have a lot of it and I want to keep it. And I actually use it to spin up loans and do all sorts of cool stuff. Yay! All right. Where are we at? Okay, so holiday shopping season should kick off. Yeah, no, any day. Holiday shopping, yeah. Only 170 more days till Christmas or whatever. So let's see. When we were, what did I miss? I think I missed one. More than 10 KDFs. No. Oh, okay, no. Those were not directed towards me. Okay. So that kind of brings us to where we are now. For those of you in the options group, you already saw private clients and digital investors, you guys behind, well, actually not behind the wall. You can go on the options board if Brandon has updated it. We closed out a bunch of stuff that we opened yesterday. So, yeah, we opened, I think, 4 positions and closed 4 positions today. I'm a big fan of getting that free money. I look at it kind of like I got forced into the asset. But yeah, we have a down day today in a lot of assets. Finally, Hyperliquid's given up some of the ghost. But yeah, this thing has just been just kind of all over the place. Yeah. So now we're down. The war is back on everyone's mind. Who knows? We'll wait for some more tweets, some more quotes, and then and things will not be as scary, and then things will go right back up. As far as the options market is concerned, all of this up and down action is very good. It is very good because it creates a lot of premium, and that is what we want. We are also getting close to the passage of the Genius Act, the stablecoin bill. So I'm curious to see if that goes through this week. My guess, maybe late Thursday, Friday. So we'll see. That could be that'll be a big deal. Ideally for us, we get some kind of conclusion, at least semblance of a path to peace between Iran and Israel, and that would come Wednesday or Thursday. And then we would get a big bump up, and then we would be able to sell. If we can get that tomorrow, so I'm going to put it out there. We need to go ahead and get that information tomorrow, and then on Thursday, we need the Genius Act to go through, and we could sell more stuff. And then on Friday, we could either roll it over or there you go. Ideally, we would get all this stuff before the end of the day, like early in the day Thursday. So that's all we're asking. But again, this big up and big down stuff is great. It's great for options premiums. So of that, I am happy. Let's see. Oil prices spiking, not a good sign. I mean, it's a normal sign. Oil prices spiking is when there's any panic in the Middle East, oil prices spike. And they also go right back down just about as fast. So I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I wouldn't hang on that too heavy. Markets closed on Thursday. Why? Is Thursday a holiday? What kind of holiday is Thursday? I don't see no damn holiday. Hold on. Let me look at my calendar. Oh. Juneteenth? I mean, is that an actual markets are closed thing? I don't think that's a thing. That's not markets are closed. They don't close for Juneteenth. That's not a real, I mean, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but that's not a real thing. It's like a kind of thing. Markets can't be closed for that. Oh, that's so stupid. And why would you close markets on a Thursday? Well, banks are closed any chance they get. Banks always close. Banks close anytime they can. Yeah, I understand what it is, but it shouldn't be a bank holiday. Like, we don't. What about when Vietnam was ended? Do we have a close the banks because Vietnam was over day? Do we have close the banks because women were let into the workforce day? Do we have close the banks when women were allowed to vote day? Do we have close the banks when people at the age of 18 were allowed to enlist in the military? Do we have a close? I mean, come on. Come on. I get it. I understand. I understand the significance of the day. I'm not arguing the significance of the day. You guys are missing the point. I'm saying it shouldn't be a trading and banking holiday. The way you honor people is not by shutting down their access to capital. Oh, man. All right, well, let's hope we get some news that we can trade on Wednesday and then again on Friday after the impromptu in the middle of the week holiday. There we go. Yeah, I'm not saying, listen, I think everybody that's done anything important and significant events should all be honored. I don't think the financial system should shut down on those days. That's all I'm saying, right? I mean, I don't think the president, do we still have presidents' birthdays? Are those celebrated as like holidays, like banking and market holidays? That to me doesn't make any sense either. So what? The day some dude in history was born or whatever. Yes, we should talk about it. It's cool. It's a historical moment, but we don't shut down markets for that stuff. That's why crypto is so nice. 24/7. 24/7. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Come on. Got to get the emotions out. Well, that's true. No one does want to work. Gosh, I saw a really funny thing. It was like a guy dressed up as Spider-Man, and he was up on a building, and it was over those riots in downtown LA. And he's like, he had like a big giant brick of job applications. He's like, I know how to solve this. I'll just drop all these job applications. That's because unemployed. Yeah. Anyway. All right. The Venetians, God. Well, and they're gone. They're gone for the most part, right? Too many holidays. Oh, the French do it too. Every day's a goddamn holiday in France. Oh, we'll wake up at 10 today. Why? Oh, it's just the bus driver's day. What does that even mean? That's not a thing. You can't make that a thing. Oh, it's the yellow day, the day of the Le Jeune. What? Le Jeune. Christmas is like 5 fucking weeks in Europe. I'm not kidding. It's like 5 weeks long because they celebrate our Christmas. Then they celebrate other Christmases. Then they have the Fête de Tres Reyes, the holiday of the Three Kings. That shit goes into mid-January. A whole month blasted. A whole month. That's why they don't get anything done. When I lived in Spain, I was like, I figured out why your guys' exports suck, why your GDP is in the toilet. You do nothing. You don't work. None of you work. I would go to the bank like, at 11. Oh, we closed from 11 to 2. What? What do you mean you closed from 11 to 2? Yeah, we shut down at 5. What's going on? Yeah, we just don't feel like it. Oh, but you do feel like going out at 10 at night, drinking, eating tapas and shit, and having, extramarital love affairs with people a tenth of your age. That's cool, though, but not actual work. No, we're not. We're living the good life. We're living the good life. You guys are all broke. Broke as shit. You don't have 2 quarters to rub together. And then you get mad because you're broke, and you go out and you have, you're petitioning, and you're angry, and you're striking. We want another paid. We want the 4-day work week. Well, you're a bus driver, motherfucker. You don't get a 4-day work week. Someone's got to drive your sorry ass back and forth on a bus. Like, I don't know, man. If you're not willing to create something new and innovative, if you're not willing to learn how to move money around, learn finance. That's the easiest one, bro. That's why I'm doing it. I'm the laziest. You've never met someone as lazy as me, I assure you. I promise you. One time, my dad, he walked in. My brother and I were like sitting on the floor watching TV, and my dad was like, all right, I got a crisp, clean $5 bill for whichever one of you is the laziest. And my brother's like, I'm the laziest. And I didn't even look from the TV. I was like, hey, when you get around to it, why don't you throw that 5 in my back pocket? I'm the laziest one. I assure you. I haven't created shit. I don't have a new innovative idea. I'm not going to solve fucking cancer. So, what is the easiest path to profit? Learn how to arbitrage information asymmetries, dislocations, find something that's worth 3 and buy it for 2 and keep the spread. Look for exchange imbalances. Look for arbitrage everywhere you can find it. Learn enough about financial tools to express your ideas about how and when the fucking idiot public will arrive at their novel ideas and trends, and buy stuff before they think they need it and sell that shit to them. Like, learn your financial tools. Learn about options. Learn about the bond market. Understand the yield curve. If you know how the financial watch actually functions, then you know more than 99.99999% of the people that manage money in the world. They know nothing. Nothing. They are fucking stupid. I told you guys this. I was consulting these guys at Northwestern Mutual. Go look up how much money Northwestern Mutual manages. I bet it's over 350 billion. I've never met a dumber group of fucking idiots in my life. I thought big building, Wilshire Avenue, LA, big time. These guys are for real. They have 2 buildings actually next to each other. I'm like, oh shit. I've got my nice shoes on, polished, ready to go. Nice watch. Came early, didn't drink coffee, brushed my teeth, all of it. What a bunch of fucking idiots. What a wasted effort that was. These dudes don't understand anything. They manage, I think it's like $360 billion now. We're wealth managers. They don't know anything. And when I say that, I'm being kind. And I thought, I left that place like, dear God, these people that have their money with these guys, they are in real trouble. These guys are in real trouble. And so I obviously did not do any more work for those guys because they're a bunch of morons. And that's one of those situations, like, it doesn't matter whether it's stupidity or corruption. You lose your money either way, right? Don't ascribe malice in a situation where stupidity is more likely the answer. Well, this was stupidity. These guys, they didn't know what a yield curve is. They didn't really understand the bond market. They really didn't understand like basic stuff. And I was just really haunted by that. And then I started to realize none of these dudes that manage money know shit about managing money. What they do know is how to sell. They are salesmen. That's another skill too. That's another thing you can learn. If you're lazy like me, you can learn how to sell, but selling is not a lazy man's sport. I tried it. You have to work hard to sell stuff. I ain't trying to do all that. So I just wanted to learn how to express ideas in terms of financial tools. And once you have that, you realize, look, no matter where you are, you're only a year or two away from having a lot more than you have right now. Right? You can sacrifice a little bit. Anyone, dude, I don't care who you are. Go live on a couch, live in a trash can, do whatever. Anybody here can scrape up $10,000 or $20,000 if you had to, right? Like if you had to. And if you can get to about 20K, well, for me, I'm thinking, well, 20K, I'll punt that into ETH options. That's 10 contracts a week or more right now, 10 to 11 contracts, 10 for sure. If I can grab my same 2%, if I can just get that 2% a week, 1.5%, 2% a week, that means I'm putting close to $2,000 a month away extra, compounding interest effects after year. Well, let's see what it would be. If I am, let's do a compounding interest calculation starting with $20,000 at an average weekly increase of 2% over a period of 24 months. Let's see. Remember, work smarter, not harder. At the end of the period, you're sitting on $153,761. So let me ask you this. Is there anybody here right now that you think your life would be worse off in 24 months if you had an extra $153,761? Run that calculation for another 24 months, starting at the finish of the first. Calculation. And then this from being on a couch, just scraping together 20K, which anybody can do if they're willing to sacrifice. Now, 24 months later, does anybody here want to guess where you're at? $1.18 million. $1.18 million. Oh no, it's impossible. It's not. Anywhere you are, you can get back. Anywhere, but you got to know the tools. You got to understand the tools. Now run it for another 24 months. So now this will be at the end of 6 years, which most people finance their car for 72 months. So that's what this is. This is a normal car financing deal. Okay, $9,088,000. 9 million. Look, I'm not making this shit up. Oh, it's backwards. Well, that's a 9. That's a 9. Yeah. 9 million. 9 million. 9 million. 11? No. See, this is the thing. You have to do this, and you have to realize the power of compound interest, and you have to realize the power of the tools at your disposal. And once you do, you will be clamoring. You're basically, in order to be lazy, one must work really hard. One must work really, really hard. But if you work really hard, you can be super lazy at the same time. So the effort is in your brain, not in your hands. Now, you might say, listen, I do want to go sell a couple of my hours of my day, and I want to earn a little bit extra cash because I want to get further down the road. I don't want to start. I want to get, 6 months deeper into that timeline. I want to buy some time back. But let's see, 20%, 2% compounded weekly for a year. That first year, you're at, let me go to the first one. Month 12. Well, I'll read it to you. Here's how the months go. 24 compounding 2% weekly. Oh, these are the weeks. I'm not going to read through the weeks. Let's go to year one. 51, 52. At the on the 52nd week, you're at $56,006. Okay, and then on the 103rd week, right, you're at $153,761. That's real money, man. Lazy is stressful. Lazy is not stressful. You can get good at it. I promise you. I promise you. I can teach you. I expect Hypercycle to do all this for me. No, even if Hypercycle was doing that for you, you would have, and even if Hypercycle does do that for you, you're going to have other goals that are above and beyond that you still have to strive and reach for. You guys realize there's just no point. There's no point where you float. No, Udemy's not, because we're not using Ledger X anymore. The Ledger X options platform. So you can't layer trades the way we could. I think what we're doing now is better because of the dislocation between, the 168 hours during a week, but the fact that people only get like 32 and a half hours to actually, enact trading ideas inside the and even less this week. So we've got holidays apparently. Which makes it's even better if you're a seller of premium seller. Yes. So yeah. No, I would say the Udemy stuff, I think it costs like $1 to watch it or whatever. So it's probably worth the thought process, but I don't think it's valid as far as making actual trades, because those are spot markets actually trading Bitcoin spot. And that's just not relevant to what we're trying to do right now. I do have a call today. Coinbase is rolling out some new stuff, and I have one of the concierge guys scheduled a call with me to tell me about. So I'll be able to tell you guys about it tomorrow. Some of the new things that Coinbase is rolling out. Let me see if he told me some of the stuff, but we have to. Where is it? Where is the Coinbase guy? Coinbase guy. I forget when the call is, like 1:00. Oh, Coinbase Advanced VIP program. And so he's from the Advanced Trader VIP sales team at Coinbase. We're rolling out a VIP program for traders this July. I wanted to give you an early access to it. It's higher USDC rewards for stablecoin. We knew that was coming because Genius Act and all the stablecoin competition. 25% uncapped rebates on all spot trading. And then they changed the fee schedule. And he said he wanted to share what their roadmap is to address common requests. My only request is going to be, when are they going to have spot options like derivatives markets? But anyway, I'll know more. So that'll be kind of fun. We can talk about that tomorrow. So yeah, the theory is correct, but the way you would express those trades is now different. Am I macro bullish? I am macro bullish. I am very bullish. I also don't think we're going to have bear markets in the same way that we have before. I think the cycle type thing in crypto is over with. Yes, assets will go up and assets will go down, but I think it's going to more closely follow business cycles rather than, and I think Bitcoin specifically, and to an extent Ethereum, but Bitcoin especially, can buck even business cycles because it may be looked at as an asset, a safe haven asset. It may be a risk on and a risk off trade, I guess is what I'm saying. And I think the reality is because there's no such thing as risk off money printing and risk on money printing. There's just printing. I mean, printing into existence, lending into existence through government debt markets, but you get it. Governments don't ever stop creating currency units. And that's irrespective of business cycles, but only heightened on the downside of business cycles as they try to paper over recessions and alleviate and just forget that depressions are even a valuable part of an economy. Yeah. Every week a winner. Is every week a winner? Yes. Every week is a winner to some extent. Because again, we're not gambling on the price. We're letting other people gamble on the price. We're selling insurance. That's it. You're an insurance salesman if you're an option seller. Does it end? I don't know when it would end. Maybe when if I can get to be a billionaire, maybe it would end. I mean, maybe I would quit doing it. I don't know. It's hard to, I mean, right now, I make $100,000 or $200,000 a week. It's kind of hard to just, it's kind of hard for me to imagine a time where that wouldn't be enticing to me. like when do I say I don't want to make an extra $250,000 a week? Nah, I'm just gonna lay by the pool and not make the 2 trades or 3 trades a week that I need to make. Like, no, I don't know. I mean, it might get to the point where I would train someone to do it for me, but nah, I'm too much of a control freak for that kind of stuff. No, I don't see an end point. I mean, eventually robots could be doing all of this, so you could see some scenario like that. We're not there yet. Alt bullish, some, not all, not alt. I'm not all alt bullish. I'm some alt bullish. Yeah, God, look at all this punishment. The alts really get knocked. They just get decimated. Yeah, but here we are. Here we are today. Let's see what happens. I'm very curious. Yeah, I'm very curious. It appears mostly puts. I'm both. I'm both puts and calls right now. But normally I like the puts because it's very easy. In my mind, puts are very easy. It's very relaxed. You sell them, they expire worthless, or you push them sideways, and you just take time. You're just mining time decay. Theta. If all you look at is the theta, everything else is a bonus. But if all you care about is the time decay, and you just harvest time decay, and you say, listen, this is what I'm going to make, then you win. Look, every now and then you'll have a week like last week and this week and the week before where things will be all crazy. I sold a bunch of options yesterday. I bought them all back today. The spreads were like, I'd have to go look, but I know I made between 12 and 25 cents on every single one of them. And that's 148,600 shares. So almost 1,500 contracts. But you just think, okay, 100 just ballpark it, 140,000 shares, and you made 20 cents on 140,000 shares. That's $20,000. It's $20,000 per day. Again, those numbers, and it's all relative, right? But you think, all this volatility that used to drive us nuts just sitting on the asset. Because again, as a speculator, you're just watching your portfolio. You're poking it with a stick, like do something, make me rich. I think the idea is make yourself rich while you're waiting. Will AI take over options trading? AI will take over all trading. Yeah, I think we have 2 or 3 years left of this. So maybe 11. The answer would be when would this end? Maybe when AI is doing it. But when AI is doing it, we have to ask ourselves a lot of questions. Is AI managing all markets? In which case we're non-participatory? I don't know. I think these are things that we're grappling with right now. But right now, it does work. So right now, I does going to do it. I work very hard to be lazy. Alt's flat for a year, it's cooked. I mean, I don't know if it's past tense cooked. I don't know how anything is actually cooked or uncooked. But a lot of the altcoins don't look enticing to me. So I would agree with you. I think my overall thoughts about altcoins are they don't look very enticing right now because it doesn't look like a lot of value there because it's a bunch of spammy companies that don't do much of anything. But there are companies that do stuff. You just got to find those little nuggets. All right, let's call it a day. Remember, things were bullish yesterday, and they were bearish over the weekend, and they were bullish last Thursday until they became bearish on Friday, and with the war and all this kind of stuff. And then a week ago, everything was great until it wasn't because Trump and Elon started throwing mud at each other. Like, all of this is normal. Up and down is normal. It's all normal. It's great. Just get on in there, dig in, enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. I'm reading one of the books I'm reading talking about like happiness, and it's very interesting. People always think, okay, if I get to this point, if I have this much money, I'll be happy, or I'm gonna delay some gratification, and then when I get here, when I've achieved this, or when I paid off this, I'll be happy. And that's not the way to be happy. The way to be happy is to find happiness in this process. So when you're approached by some struggle or some challenge or some fork in the road or some frustration, instead of being like, oh man, what you should do is you should welcome it. You should be like, great, this is one more thing that I can tackle, and add it to my repertoire of things I can tackle whenever they're presented in front of me. So rather than get frustrated, become like an engineer. In the military, we say, work the problem. Whenever something happens, work the problem. Work it. Don't get mad at it. It is what it is. Ants invaded my bedroom, my master bathroom, going after the cat food this weekend. I don't know where the hell they came from. Well, I do know now. So I immediately got on GPT. I created some kind of workarounds, a process. I ordered some silicone sealant where they got in. I had to destroy their pheromone trail. I had to go to war with these little sons of bitches. They're very enterprising. And I won the war so far. Maybe it's a skirmish, but I won so far. But at first I was like, and then I was like, no, wait, you know what? This will probably happen many, many times in life. Ants will find food many times in my life. I'm going to be so fucking good at shutting down ants. People are going to be like, hey, Nick, help me deal with these ants. I'll be like, hey, bro, GPT. So anyway, welcome all that stuff. Welcome all these challenges. Learn your financial tools and get what you want to get, but don't wait to be happy. Just be happy. It's free, bro. Smile. It's free. Oh, and for those of you that haven't, go see The Life of Chuck. So good. Stephen King. It's not scary. Stephen King, The Life of Chuck. I promise you, it's the best movie you've seen in a year. Nothing even gets close. Anyway, on that note, stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my porn saw with drunk, stronger on meth, grandmother, freaking grifter ass grandmother wouldn't do, which is very little. We'll see you tomorrow.